Hi, my name is Karine Tsoumis, Curator of Historical Ceramics at the Gardiner Museum. Today I'd like to invite you on a journey as we will discover a small object that reveals two big stories. One about the craze for Chinese porcelain, and the other about a passion for tulips. This blue and white porcelain Ewer from the Gardiner Museum's collection was made in Jingdezhen, China in the 1630s during the late Ming dynasty. It is decorated with a river landscape with small houses and boats. The potters of Jingdezhen developed decoration in blue and white in the 14th century. From then on and during the following centuries, they produced wares in response to the tastes and customs of cultures in East Asia, the Middle East, and Europe. Around 1600, the Dutch East India Company gained monopoly on trade with Asia, importing porcelain in significant quantity. Scholars estimate that about 3 million porcelain objects arrived in Europe through Dutch trade during the first half of the 17th century. This ewer was made specifically for the European market, as indicated by its shape, characterized by a round body and narrow neck. This shape is commonly found in Northern European ceramics, as exemplified by this Dutch earthenware example made around 1600. A servant uses a similarly shaped jug to serve wine in this drunken gathering by Jan Steen. While porcelain trade intensified in the 17th century, it was still more costly than other locally produced ceramics. In addition, the practice of mounting porcelain with silver indicates the great value placed even upon relatively modest pieces such as this one. A silversmith attached a lid to this ewer with a hinge shaped as a lion's head. A German silver medallion dated to 1626 makes up the lid itself. It features a woman breastfeeding an old man. An inscription identifies the scene as the story of Roman charity, a popular theme of Baroque painting. According to the story, the Roman woman Pero secretly breastfed her father Simon, imprisoned and sentenced to death by starvation. On each side of the jug's neck, a decorative detail points to the demand for another type of luxury good, the tulip. Tulips had been cultivated in present-day Turkey for centuries when Europeans discovered them in the 1500s. The Dutch started obtaining bulbs through Ottoman trade in the last decades of the 16th century. To European eyes, the tulip was novel, beautiful, and exotic, very much like porcelain. Tulips were loved for their rich and vibrant colors, as well as for their great variety. Feathered, striped, and flamed tulips particularly generated wonder. The fashionable flower frequently appears in painting and as a decorative motif on European ceramics. In the first half of the 17th century, the demand for tulips brought Netherlandish merchants to engage in a frantic tulip trade, and the cost of bulbs spiked dramatically. Records show that certain tulip bulbs were sold for 300 guilders, which is the equivalent of what a skilled craftsman could earn in 1 year. The tulip bubble eventually burst in 1637, causing a small economic crisis. But the passion endured in the Netherlands and Europe, and the love for beautiful flowers inspired the production of new types of vases and bowls for growing bulbs inside the home. It always amazes me how a small ceramic object can reveal so many cultural connections, as well as ties between geographically remote parts of the world. This is what makes the study of porcelain so fascinating. Thank you for taking this journey around the world with me.